from the Scripps Studios, this is 10 News.
Good morning. It is Sunday, April 16th. You're waking up to what's new. I'm Vanessa Van Hefty.
And I'm Robert Santos. Happy Easter to you. So many of you heading to service this morning. 10 News meteorologist Christine Keogh here now to show us what kind of weather you can expect.
Yeah, good morning, you guys. Happy Easter. A good idea to dress in layers today. It will be chilly for those morning services, but then we're going to warm up really nicely. We're taking a look here at our sky cams from the coast all the way out to the deserts. We do have some clouds clinging to the coastal communities, but we are seeing some blue skies breaking through downtown. In Poway, some high thin clouds. Seeing those blue skies in Julian and Borrego Springs looking really nice right now with just a couple clouds in the sky. 62 at the coast right now. We're seeing 53 inland, so this is a bit warmer than this time yesterday for comparison. At the coast, we will see a high of 70 today, but it's going to be another windy afternoon. In fact, that sea breeze is going to be even stronger, so if you have outdoor activities that you're setting up for, keep that in mind. You're going to want to make sure everything is secured nicely. For our inland communities, we'll still be in the 60s in the 9 o'clock hour, but we'll heat up to 75 degrees. Doesn't get better, but be ready for some 20-mile-per-hour gusts, possibly even stronger over in those inland communities. I'm tracking a roller coaster of a 7-day forecast with temperatures approaching 90 degrees inland in the 7-day. I'll let you know exactly when coming up.
Okay, Kristen, thank you. Now on to some breaking news that we're following out of Northern California. 4 people were shot at a house party in Vallejo. 5 others were injured. Police say a group of teenagers were hanging outside of the house when someone in the car across the street started shooting at the crowd. The 9 people injured are all minors. They're all in a hospital this morning with injuries ranging from minor to serious. The suspect is still on the run and police are now investigating.
Breaking overnight, a shooting at an Ohio club leaves 9 people injured, 2 of them in critical condition. It happened at an after-hours club in Columbus. Police say that all of the people hurt were taken to hospitals. There is no information on a suspect or a motive behind the shooting. The story is still developing. We'll bring the latest in this newscast.
Now to a crime alert. A brutal attack is now being called a hate crime. Police say a 56-year-old black man was standing in an alley off Imperial Avenue in Logan Heights when another man walked up to him. They say he started hitting the victim and saying racial slurs. Now when the man fell to the ground, the attacker started kicking him in the head. Police say he left, but he did come back and beat the man with a bamboo stick. The victim is in the hospital and is expected to survive. His attacker is still on the run.
A developing story now. North Korea's first missile test fails as it sets off. At the same time, Vice President Mike Pence makes his way to South Korea. Let's go to ABC's Martha Raddatz with how tensions are escalating.
Tension on the Korean peninsula this morning after that failed missile launch by North Korea. U.S. commanders say after the missile lifted off near Sinpo, it blew up almost immediately. Vice President Mike Pence briefed aboard Air Force Two en route to Seoul.
This morning's provocation from the north is just the latest reminder of the risks each one of you face every day.
At Osan Air Base outside Seoul,
this is your 3rd set of blast doors here.
I had an exclusive look at the warfighting and defense operations near the most militarized border in the world.
But this shows you just what the threat level is here.
Yes, ma'am, we live with it every day.
So you'd say the threat is pretty real?
It's very real.
We saw up close Patriot missile batteries, a missile defense system guarding against an attack from North Korea.
Basically what a Patriot does is it determines an inbound threat missile. We fire a Patriot missile at it, and it's a bullet-on-bullet scenario where the Patriot missile hits the threat missile and destroys it.
The South Korean government calling the failed launch, along with the weekend's parade in Pyongyang, a show of force that threatens the whole world, and warning any further nuclear tests or provocations would result in strong punitive measures, unbearable by the North Korean regime.
Now to some new developments after that deadly shooting in an Arizona mall. Police are calling it a murder-suicide, and the shooter is a captain with the Tucson Fire Department. Sheriffs say Frederick Baer opened fire at a mall restaurant Friday night, killing 1 man and wounding a woman in the leg before turning the gun on himself. Police also confirmed the injured woman is Baer's ex-wife. She is expected to recover. Baer and the other victim were found dead at the scene.
New information on firefighter safety. Dangerous fumes have firefighters changing the way they work because of alarming cancer rates. After battling a huge fire at an auto shop there in Logan Heights yesterday, crews were very careful to keep their breathing mask on as they cleaned up. Protective gear helps keep them safe, but often the face and neck are exposed once the flames are out. After extinguishing a fire, the air is tainted with toxins. Deputy Chief Steve Rickey says rescuers are at risk.
That air in there that's off-gassing in those products, they're cancer causing. We have a lot of firefighters that are being exposed and they're getting cancer.
Research on firefighter cancer rates only came out about 2 years ago. The numbers show the lingering effects are more deadly than the flames. And the CDC has just released the results of a 5-year study of firefighters. They found firefighters had a higher number of cancer rates and deaths than the average American. They were most likely to get cancer in the digestive system, mouth, lungs, and urinary cancers. Also, their chances of getting lung cancer or leukemia increased with the amount of time spent at fires. Thousands of demonstrators marched across the country demanding the president release his tax returns. In Berkeley, California, police arrested at least 20 people after President Trump and supporters protested, started throwing punches. ABC's David Wright shows us how this violent protest all unfolded.
Pro and anti-Trump demonstrators squared off in Berkeley. Police in riot gear standing by as violence flared. A clash complete with firecrackers and pepper spray. At least 20 demonstrators are now under arrest and 11 injured. This on a day of nationwide protests, thousands of marchers demanding Trump release his tax returns. Outside the Capitol in Washington, D.C., along Fifth Avenue outside Trump Tower, in Chicago's Daley Plaza, and L.A.'s Pershing Square, and up to the Embarcadero in San Francisco, here in Palm Beach as well. Demonstrators not protesting climate change or women's rights or war. No broad issues here, just a very narrow one. One man and his taxes.
We demand to see his taxes, and if he doesn't, it's only going to cause more distress.
Some new details now are emerging after an attempted rape near the college area. Police released this sketch of a man they say tried to rape a young woman in her car near San Diego State. Police say the woman was on Montezuma Road near 55th Street Friday morning just before 11 when a man who looked like this jumped in her car and started grabbing and touching her. He ran off when he saw people walking by. Detectives are now following up on leads. They're asking anyone with information to call the San Diego Police Department.
Pope Francis celebrated Easter Mass with thousands of Catholic faithful in St. Peter's Square just hours ago. The event held under heavy security after recent attacks in London, Stockholm. ABC's Lindsay Janis has more from the Vatican.
This morning, Pope Francis celebrating Easter Sunday Mass with tens of thousands of pilgrims in St. Peter's Square.
Gesù è risorto.
In his sermon, the Pope asking people to open their hearts to those suffering from tragedy and war.
To
our closed hearts and fearful hearts.
Signore è risorto.
The crowd praying and taking part in communion. After the service, Pope Francis putting security concerns aside, riding around in his Pope-mobile. Then another tradition. The pontiff stepping out onto a balcony, giving what's known as his message to the city and the world. Praying for an end to armed conflicts, terrorist attacks, and oppressive regimes. He spoke of horror and death in Syria, referencing yesterday's bomb attack on buses carrying Syrian refugees. Easter week in Rome has been marked by heavy security after suicide bombers targeted Christian churches in Egypt at the start of Holy Week, and following a wave of terror attacks across Europe.
All right, 8:06 today, Extreme Pilots will be back on San Diego Bay, putting on quite a show for the Red Bull Air Race World Championship. right, those planes are fast, hitting speeds of more than 200 miles an hour. They're some of the best race pilots in the world. People are very excited about this because these races have not been here since 2009, so quite a hiatus. General admission down there, $30. If you can't swing that, you can catch a glimpse along the Embarcadero and near Ferry Landing in Coronado. I know Robert and Kristen saw them yesterday.
Yeah, people were definitely doing that, so you can do that for sure. 8:07, happening now. Tens of thousands of San Diegans are attending Easter services, especially the sunrise service earlier this morning all across the county. 10 News reporter Grecia Aguilar is live at the Carlsbad Flower Fields where they had their service as well. Good morning, Grecia.
Good morning, Robert. Yeah, the Field Church just held their 14th annual sunrise service. They just wrapped up, so there's still a lot of people here lingering, having a talk with friends, with their family, just having a great time enjoying these beautiful flowers. They smell really, really nice, by the way. And right after the service, they're holding a breakfast, and this is where a lot of the people stayed, and they're in line waiting to get some of their ham and eggs. I smelled some pancakes. I saw them cooking some pancakes, so they were probably gonna get some pancakes here too. A lot of people sitting down with their families and enjoying this Easter breakfast. About 1,500 people were expected to come today, but they had seats filled up. They had 1,600 seats set up. They were all filled. So I'm sure the pastor was very happy. He was excited to have all these people come out on Sunday morning. But again, people just enjoying the breakfast time right after the sunrise mass. We'll be here talking to people and seeing what they thought about it. Reporting in Carlsbad, Grecia Aguilar, 10 News.
So pretty out there, and if you can't make it out to Carlsbad this morning, there are other services being held all around the county. Sunrise service at the Spreckles Oregon Pavilion was this morning. That is in Balboa Park. In La Mesa, the Centennial Easter Sunrise service at Mount Helix. It is hosted by Skyline Church. And in Point Loma, the 68th annual Kiwanis Easter Sunrise service held at the Cabrillo National Monument.
Weather Rate certified San Diego's most accurate forecast. This is 10 News Pinpoint Weather.
Okay, so 8:08, so a nice start for these sunrise services. I mean, we actually saw the sunrise. Nice mix of sun and clouds making for a nice sunrise.
There was just enough cloud cover to really enhance the color of the sunrise, so it was perfect. We saw all sorts of pastels in there, and now taking a look at La Jolla, this is one of the spots where the cloud cover is kind of clinging there, but we're going to see sunshine for everybody this afternoon. Here are your Easter headlines. Pleasant temperatures in store. We're going to see the 70s for the coastal and inland communities. We're going to get a strong sea breeze, though, even stronger than yesterday this afternoon. And yeah, make sure you're putting on the sunscreen. Make sure the kids have it slathered on for those egg hunts and outdoor activities today because it's going to be really sunny. Right now we're waking up to 57 in La Jolla, 56 in Escondido, 62 downtown, 59 in Chula Vista, and we are up a few degrees from 24 hours ago, about 3 degrees warmer in Alpine and Ramona. We're 4 degrees warmer downtown, so a bit more mild out there. A little trough of low pressure is lingering off the coast, so we're seeing that pattern, and we're going to see that ushering in some fog potentially tonight. You may run into that on your Monday morning commute. That's also what's going to increase that breeziness this afternoon. Marine Layer Futurecast showing that at 10 a.m. we're still going to have some of that cloud cover clinging to the beaches, especially up in the northern portions of the county. But I want to fast forward here to noon. You'll see nice clear skies for everybody. Perfect for the holiday. Here's how it all looks on the 7-day forecast. We'll top out at 70 today with mostly sunny skies. 72 for Monday. We will drop into the 60s on Thursday after a little cold storm moves our way from the north, bringing us a very small chance in the middle of the week for just some drizzle to light rain out of the marine layer, but nothing to be concerned about at this point. By next weekend, though, we see a warm up. We're going to hit 79 next Saturday. Inland today, we're calling it 75, 76 tomorrow. We'll see the 70s until Friday as we climb into the 80s. And look at Saturday, we're going to be pushing 90. We will be in the upper 80s. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that warm up for you. For the mountains, 68 today, and the deserts, 91.
Wow, 90 degrees. We're going to hear some complaints.
I know.
Too hot.
I'll get the inbox ready.
All right.
Thanks, Kristen. Easter's here, and we are shelling out some serious cash. How the calendar date affects how much money we spend this season.
Sea lions apparently